Alright, so yeah, how do we expect this to go is probably not the, or at least, you know, which way we expect this to be favored is probably not a good question here. Maybe we should try to focus on like what type of things CYAN could try and do here in order to catch MARU off guard. I'm not entirely sure. At least make sure that you're not caught off guard by MARU. That is probably a really good start already. Here's somebody that loves a bit of a cheeky barracks play here or there. Is just going for an engineering bay block this time around though. Nothing too wild. Just sticking with a bit of a nuisance, but nothing too bad overall. No proxy 2 Rex or proxy 111, which I haven't seen in a very long time anymore, but maybe that could be a reason why suddenly it starts working again, right? And sometimes you see these strategies that people tried out, they tested it out, they tinkered with it a little bit, and then they kind of let it go, falls out of the wayside, people forget about it, and then suddenly somebody brings it back up with a little twist, and yeah, people are caught off guard, they kind of misremember how to deal with it, and initially anyway, and with the extra tweaks added in now from the other player, it's like, alright, well, yeah, this is now even more difficult to deal with, because my normal response doesn't quite work. But yeah, that's all hypotheticals, of course. Right now, we are having MARU going for a 1-1-1, I expect. But it's just going to be in his own base. And he has that command center, of course, also coming up behind it. Single, double Hellion. Alright, yeah, Hellion drops most likely. It could be getting just the 2 Hellions, of course, as well. I don't think he really went with a Reaper here. So he might just make 2 Hellions to be able to go in the front of the base of CYAN, get a bit of scouting intel, and then start making Widow Mines for the drop. That could be the case as well, but let's see what he does. It's a bit of a stylistic choice, right? You mix and choose whatever you go for, so that it doesn't become predictable for your opponent. You need to incorporate a lot of those different units and mix and match, right? Some Hellions here, then some Widow Mines, then suddenly 2 Widow Mines, 4 Widow Mines, or 4 Hellions and stuff like that. Very difficult for your opponent then to respond appropriately, because it's never quite certain which of the unit mixes you're gonna get. And there they go, the 4 Widow Mines. Now going across the map here with the Hellions at the front door. Trying to burst away that adept right there. Trying to ensure that it's going to be not available to block those Hellions. Widow Mines very aggressively actually at the front entrance here of the natural base. So the Hellions now gain entry onto the probes that are running away from the Widow Mines. A very crazy aggressive way to open this up, but let's see if he gets rewarded. Overall, 3 probes go down, and that's about it. That's what he managed to achieve so far. But those Hellions still have some HP left on them and are going to be able to rotate into this main base right now. And that is some money connection right there. 8 probes in total now. We're going to get 10, and that is where the story should end. 10 probes just like that. Very impressive stuff from Mr. MARU. You know what? You think you solved the situation, and then all of a sudden MARU's like, no, I'm gonna pretend to run away, come back around on the shortest path possible, and suddenly just be in your face again. Little Widow Mine drop here, trying not to be be in the line of sight of that probe, I suppose. As CYAN seems a little bit preoccupied with the aggression of his own here. Coming in with a couple of Stalkers. Getting a few of the SCVs, but overall the siege tank there of MARU very well placed. Gunning those red Stalker boys down very, very quickly. More Stalkers now in the main. CYAN not quite done yet with his harassment. Wants to try and get some more. Definitely is getting some more, but will it be enough? After the damage he sustained himself and losing his Stalkers as he is attempting this aggression. It's a rough place. It's a rough place. It's not really something you envy him for. CYAN spotting the Raven right there, trying to avoid detection. Stalkers, I would not want to go try to go up there. That siege tank in a nice spot with a lot of defense there as well. Not looking that much at the webcams, but I'm just realizing that MARU, very impressive how he's making it look also effortless to him. Just a death stare. Alright, so, yeah. With that kind of being done, I mean, the Stalkers didn't do that much. CYAN took a lot of damage from the Hellion Widowmine harassment that, for a moment, I thought kind of whiffed. Came back around and managed to get like 7 more kills within the blink of an eye. And afterwards, CYAN trying to retaliate and having a bunch of Stalkers being obliterated. Not the best way to kind of have the series go for him. That's a loud car. As I am, of course, broadcasting from the middle of the road, as is per usual. It's where the traffic expects me to be, so it's where I'm safest. There we go. We have to watch out for those zealots. Can they actually still get out of here? It would be lovely if they do manage to do that. Immediately we see a Viking on the production tab here for MARU. He realizes, alright, well, if you just want to sit there, I'm not going to let you. That would be a horrible way to throw this game. Just have a bunch of zealots suddenly in your backline as you're on the offensive yourself. So we'll not allow that to happen. And removes that critical piece of CYAN, a potential return into this game here. Prevents CYAN from making those good plays right now. There we go, Viking, a little bit new to the job still. Wasn't quite sure what a wild person looked like just yet, so makes sense. Now he's learned, and now he's going at it as a real professional Viking pilot. Alright. MARU taking pretty much full control over most aspects of the game. And CYAN desperately trying to do a maneuver right now. The anti-armor missile absolutely crucial to combat these gateway forces. We've been seeing more and more Terrans incorporating this. It's a massive decrease in armor. I always get surprised with it, so maybe I'm overestimating it right now, but I feel like it's like with 3 or 6 armor or somewhere in between. It's a ridiculous amount. More zealot run-bys. They do buy CYAN some more time here. But what is he working himself towards? He's getting +1/+1. And he's just getting more zealots. And I'm not convinced that it's going to bring him victory right now. He's up against an army that is pretty much committed to killing zealots, right? It's mostly Widowmines, a whole bunch of Marines, not that many Marauders. There's the Raven right there for the anti-armor missile as well. He is ready to go. He is willing to fight any zealot army right now. And we step maybe a little bit too ambitious right now. Those Widowmines not quite yet in the ground. but it's still enough. Alright, here we go. Pushing forwards again. Great splits there from MARU and getting the Widow Mines to the correct connections. Off we go, kiting those zealots away to avoid the friendly splash damage as well. More zealots flanking here, actually. Being able to make this a little bit rougher. I don't see any anti-armor missile really being connected here. And CYAN's actually pushing this backwards for now. I say for now, and I mean that. I don't think he's going to be able to get a second push back like that. Especially after moves like these. Widow Mines, just the big ensemble of Widow Mines that the army of CYAN so casually marched over. They just decided to march into the mineral line. Well, all three of them, actually, and kill 20 probes. Because why not? Why not? I've been playing a little bit of chess now for a couple of first times, and this feels like me playing against one of those bots, and I'm like, all right, well, he has his queen somewhere in a somewhat dangerous position, but if I just move him around here, I can get that horse of his, and then suddenly that queen is just on a windmill, I believe they call it. But on the right side, there's a blue Terran player fighting for Team NV, MARU, and his opponent in the red. It's from Team GGG, is CYAN, the Red Protoss. This is the proudly Red Protoss. Gonna have to come up with something else then, rocking the red. So I heard that apparently that's a hockey turn. So I'll try to come up with something else. But I don't think there's anything better, is there? Oh well. Oh, there he is again. I like that he's just like, alright, well, if you're gonna see me do this anyway, I might as well put it right on top of that pylon and make it more difficult for your probes to kill me. Tiny things that just... Always, you see MARU do it and you're just instantly like, ah, yeah, of course you want to do it like this. Look at that. And, wow, blammo. He's like, no, wait, I can get another percentage in there. Let me just spend 4 button presses here in a quick moment and done. Alright. Rough spot there, of course, for CYAN. Actually, see, is the volume... Alright, we turned it down anyway. Well, there we go. Should be a bit better. A bit more balanced, I believe. Robo being made. Whereas we have the command center coming down on the other side of the map. A man very pleased with himself and his beautifully semi-constructed engineering bay across the map. Of course, as long as those... the little metal bars are still around your structure, you can get money back from the construction. It's a horrible business plan, but hey. Whoever is in charge of those engineering bays, probably not making a lot of money. Alright, so anything interesting overall? I'm seeing the double barracks here. I'm not sure if it's the triple barracks for MARU. We're having 2 Marines at a time being produced and another one just finishing up just now. 2 tech labs. I'd love to see the entrance there, but you also see CYAN kind of getting aggressive here, right? He never made a Nexus. Actually, yeah, he never made a Nexus, and he's just coming across. It's probably the more important thing here. Well, it's also important how many barracks MARU has. He has 3. Okay, he has 3. So that's going to be a whole bunch of Marines right now. Continuously being produced. That's a big deal for him. That's going to be very good for him overall. As opposed to, you know, having a single siege tank or something just barely coming out right now. Although a siege tank would be very good too. I guess Widowmine drops or something like that, right? Hellion harassments. If he was going for something like that right now, that would be horrible. He might do a lot of damage across the map, but he will receive a lot more damage back at home. SCP's not quite in time. Nice force fields right there from CYAN as well, blocking the repairs. The Marines and Marauders trying to kind of prevent this army from pushing up to the command center for a little bit. SCVs, 3 of them already fall, but the rest of them happily continue existing near the mineral patches, mining along right now. And CYAN, I mean, there's no way in hell he can actually give them up in this position right now. Force fields is gonna land on top of the ramp area there. MARU now in trouble. How many sentries do we have available here for our Protoss player? Oh, this is gonna be rough. If MARU loses a game like this, this is gonna be heartbreaking. He doesn't lose stim. Right, he does have stim available. Yes, he does. Does manage to stim up there. The force field misses. Oh, no, CYAN. He actually misses the force field, and now MARU is getting up there, and this entire plan falls apart in the blink of an eye. That is so unfortunate. What a way to lose a game like that. Man. Reminds me of the Wings of Liberty days, right? Where it was just a lot... very common for the Terran to just make a big ball of bio and then seeing a sentry on top of the ramp of the Protoss and being like, alright, well, if the force field lands and he keeps force fielding in time, then, you know, he's going to be able to win this one. But yeah. Protoss just got really good at those force fields, of course, and then Terrans had to figure out a different way to just win the game. Now on the other side of the map here, there's not that much red Protoss as army units. MARU being very reluctant to press that stim button here as well. He's just doing some poke damage and reserving those HP points for his units. A lot of them already in the orange anyway. Rather have those boys stay alive and wait for the first round of medevacs to come up. Heal them back up to full and get some upgrades on them. Suddenly just have a much bigger force ready to strike with the next attack. Missile turret at the front. Yes, well, I guess there's not really any stealth detection needed per se, but we've seen the members of GGG already going for a lot of DTs before, of course. Patience. Maybe CYAN gonna try similar stuff? It's just good to be prepared, just in case, right? Just good. I don't know why I'm drawing that much attention to it anyway. Robo and the Robo Bay coming up. So that's the second Robo. More Disruptors entering the field here for CYAN. Interesting choice overall. Going for the Disruptors first. I'm not the biggest fan. I like people grabbing a couple of Colossi and then going for the Disruptors. Because the ball of bio that MARU has right now, it's not that much, right? It's not difficult to get them all split up and away from each other. They're going to have a lot of room to maneuver as well, because there's not that many of them. They're not blocking up the entire environment, so you have a lot of ways to run to. We are going to start seeing that battle. MARU losing some workers at home. That War Prism still present, of course. The siege tank hoping to deal with it. Might be able to be enough. Disruptor shot there from CYAN would have been massive, but he moved it back. Seeing MARU react and wanting to move his entire army backwards as well, and then moving the disruptor shot backwards. Oh, that is a bummer.